Man, so I guess like oh man, I mean we have to start the intro. I was going to ask if you've seen certain current events in the internet sphere.
I
Um,
guess, yeah. I mean,
no,
is it
well, like,
something? Hmm?
oh well, no, just I guess just leading into the first conversation of the show, but I don't want to start talking about it and then you go, "Hello everyone and welcome to the AWKWARDCast with ANY and Keyframe." Just us, that kind of thing. Oh, well, there you go.
I will edit it so that you basically just did it.
Oh,
We
okay.
are now live.
But hello, everyone. No. It just seems like the past like week or two has been like the
Gamer
week of
mode?
clapbacks. No, just a thing of like, because the H Bomber Guy
Uh-huh.
video came out this week about the whole plagiarism thing, and
Hmm.
then Todd in the Shadows like a day after came out with another video about James Somerton that was like an hour and a half video of just fact checking and being like, yeah, I don't think he's ever gotten a fact correct that he, you know, unless he plagiarized it. And then
As a previous watcher of his, I'm feeling more and more ashamed.
I never heard of this James Somerton guy before Harris's video, so, you know,
Hmm.
I guess I'm lucky.
I actually have been following him for quite a while now. Uh, Thankfully, I never gave him money. Otherwise, my regrets would be worse. And I mean, at the end of the day, I still got to consume quality content. It was just not his.
Is it quality? Because every clip I watched from H Bomber Guy of James's videos, they seemed painfully boring.
I mean,
Like it was just a
he's a
guy in an
video.
ill-fitting turtleneck talking directly into the camera.
I mean, he's a video essayist. Aren't you watching those?
I am, but usually they have a little bit more effort in their, je ne sais quoi.
Mwah, mwah.
But like no, and then like yesterday the completionist put out his whole like, hey guys, so I'm suing people for defamation
Oh,
response video. Oh yeah, have you heard about the whole completionist stuff that has
no.
happened? Oh,
What
okay.
about
Well,
Gerard?
drama YouTuber time, except not really.
Well, what a great start into the
So
show. Hello, welcome to the AWKWARDCast. And Ryan Keep and Wonder about random nibbles. Our guest today, YouTube drama. That's what you all signed up for. No, we will move on, but now I want to hear this part.
okay, but to condense it,
Yes.
so Gerard's family has the Open Hand Foundation, which is the nonprofit foundation that he does like Indie Land and a bunch of charity streams about, and the money goes to charities that are involved with research for dementia and Alzheimer's, which is something Gerard's mother suffered from. And then two channels, I forgot one of their channels' names, and a channel called Some Ordinary Gamers brought up the fact that like the charity did not hasn't donated the money it's raised in quite a few years. Apparently the money's just been sitting in the bank. It hasn't been touched, but it just hasn't existed. And then they further on went through and was like, hey, so there could be even more money missing. I am not an expert, but I've done some pocket math, and it seems like there could be hundreds of thousands of dollars missing. So everyone should report the Open Hand Foundation and Gerard to the IRS.
Yeah, that seems to jump a little bit.
But then Gerard made a video a day or two ago, no, I think yesterday, where he just states all the facts. I mean, he apologizes and stuff, but he also points out that like a lot of the videos that are like reporting on this stuff highly exaggerate his position at the nonprofit, because I think everyone thinks that he's the one who handles the money. No, it's a public like nonprofit business. There's other people who work there, kind of thing. The money's been donated, but then he's just, and like, look, if they audit me, I'm happy to welcome an audit, because I'm tired of people fucking thinking I took the money. I didn't. We just wanted to make a sizable donation. And like I'm kind of like weird about that, but mistakes are made. However, he just kind of ended it with like, we're looking into legal options because you shouldn't tell people to mass report a person to the IRS. The Joker fears the IRS. Why would you? Like, come on.
How big of an audience did this claimant have who told the masses to do?
I mean, some ordinary gamers is like in the millions, but the thing is that the topic trended a lot on the hell sites. So, point being, it was very. I was watching it as a very outside influence to be like, I'm waiting until Gerard says his side, kind of thing. And then Gerard said his side. It's like, this is why I waited, because I'm like, when you have the receipts, you have the receipts. But either way, no, it's just been a very interesting week of like, man, either people just have the most articulated fuck yous, or the most articulated fuck yous back. But don't worry, folks, I didn't just consume weird YouTube
those was Keith Media off to mine.
No. I mean, like, I've actually consumed quite a bit of media this week compared to usual weeks where I'm only watching the same YouTube video over and over and over.
I also had a decent amount. I mean, we already aligned a little bit ahead of time, just saying, and we came to the conclusion, good thing we don't have a guest, because now we can just talk about multiple media per person. Like, yeah.
I know, right?
Also, but talking about guests, should we start as in a mirror of the segment where our guest usually is allowed to talk about stuff? Reflect on Awkward as a year. It is the year. It's the year where we brought back the Just Us, which was the root of the AWKWARDcast.
Yes, and that's probably my favorite thing that we've done over the course of AWKWARDcast this year, because I like these Just Us episodes.
Yeah. I'm still defending, and I mean, this is our agreement anyways, I'm still defending the fact that, hey, bringing guests in is... If it's only Just Us week after week, we are losing a little bit of steam, so getting fresh faces in is good. But no, I'm also enjoying the Just Us again.
But no, like, the absence makes the heart grow fonder, they say. So it's like, that's what makes the Just Us episodes fun. But, this was also the year where we took this show and was like, okay, we're doing this show more for fun, as you can see by the fact that our collage is not filled with 2,000 people, which is fine. I feel like we went more quality than quantity.
And I guess in a similar vein, we also went a little bit for... instead of trying to get in new faces, onboard new faces, I believe outside of what's her name? Our Pikachu mama.
Oh, Mal.
Yeah, except for Mal, I believe we didn't have new faces this year. It's all veterans returning to glory.
And I mean, some veterans were
long time absent ones.
Yeah.
Wooten hasn't been forever. CC. Yeah.
Derek was forever ago.
J-Tastic was last year, but a while down last year. So yeah, bringing back our bewährt.
Yeah, so we had. Yes, and we didn't have to use like the crutches that we always use as much. Michael kind of just became a crutch, but it was still like I liked this year. It was a lot of people are like, you've done less episodes this year, but it's like I feel like I can say that I enjoyed more episodes consistently this year.
That is a good thing. Like, when there was something where it would have meant stress or coming on sick or whatever, and already having a stream that weekend. I mean, that's also a thing. We were like, if we have 3 idiots that week, we don't need...
it's basically AWKWARDcast anyways.
I mean, this also is the reason why Abby just made it into a singular appearance. We only had Abby on once this year. But then again, we had 3 idiots, so we saw each other on a almost monthly basis.
She had to deal with our dumbasses at least once a month. So,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Out of principle...
I'm sad we're not going to actually be able... I just realized we wouldn't be able to finish the battle brackets. We're gonna enter 2024
Maybe.
with the Disney villain one.
No, maybe we can. Depending on, we need to see how it's schedule-wise, but it's not with video and whatnot. I am just a caller. In 3 Idiots, I'm just a caller, so all I need is a computer with Skype.
That is... Oh, not Skype. Ew.
Discord.
Yeah. So, oh, God, went back to a bygone time. But no, yeah, I mean, we could. I really want to do the idea that I had, for 3 Idiots where you're the one running it and I'm like for Honest Truth or something, and the layout just looks so much less colorful and happy because you're the one running it.
But that sounds like a bigger one we should do next year.
I really want to do that. I also just really want to do episodes of 3 Idiots next year where I'm not the one like making everything, because I kind of want to be a participant in the games that I've created.
That is true.
Like,
that was
I would never put the responsibility of bad summary on people, because that's like so many questions. But Honest Truth I could give to someone and be like, okay, I feel like this is an easy enough one to give to people of like of doing that, because I feel like that one can be like look, here's the basic concept, go nuts. Though knowing you'll probably make a secret group chat with a bunch of people being like, guys, help me make up lies.
Probably.
I mean, I'm already getting Denim to help me the next time we do Honest Truth, because I really want a help with making fake sounding they're fake but real sounding isekai anime titles.
Yeah.
But yes.
On that note,
what have you been watching?
I was about to say, on that note, perfect keyword, since you just mentioned isekai, I had one media that I wanted to bring in. Let me see if I can.
I'm very. You said a bit of this during our watch through of Scott, so I'm fascinated because I didn't look up what it looked like.
Okay, let me see. Okay, let me get them images in. Okay, let's start with. Okay, there is an. Where do I?
Professional as always.
I know, right? Let's start with the
we
probably.
We prepped some of the things we were going to talk about today, and it's.
Yeah. Let's start with probably what I find the most appealing visual representation. So. What also blame Denim for that, because she brought this onto my radar. So yeah, I recently picked up the isekai by the name of So I Am a Spider, So What?
What's wrong with the spider? That's a very weird looking spider.
I mean, are there more images from the manga? Where's cover of number 2, for example?
Oh no, the reason why the spider looks weird is that it just has a very like not spidery looking face.
Oh, you poor unfortunate soul. You have a problem with this spider?
Why don't you talk about because this started as a light novel, right?
Exactly. It started with a light novel. I still wanted to get some nice representation of the IP in general onto the screen. So yeah, I originally, where did it start? Oh, it started with, right. So it started with a German version of the manga, which for the purpose of, this sounds silly and lighthearted, and Denim is always on the search for easy to consume media to practice German. So she picked up that manga. Then, as so often, it's like, reading something for the consuming a media for the first time in German in a foreign language, that is kind of hard. So at some point, she came across the audiobook version on Audible. And in English. So that then got added. And what was even I believe I first just picked up the manga because it was lying around, read it, and I was like, this is actually intriguing. And then I also started listening to the audiobook. So that's... But then there is also an anime adaptation. So there are 3 versions of it out there.
Okay.
The first one, obviously, the graphic novel, no, not the graphic novel, the light novel. First, the light novel is like, the plot, the idea is there is this girl, who through, I believe in any, this is not even a spoiler, this is a setup where in any iteration it basically starts with she's sitting in her history class and suddenly a rift opens in the ceiling of the classroom, she feels immense pain, and the next thing she knows she's waking up in an egg as a spider who's hatching. So, so she got violently isekai'd. And is now reborn as a spider, and as not a normal spider, mind you. She's basically 3 feet tall. She's a monster. She's a monster in a fantasy world.
No. Okay, I am no longer into this concept. I don't. No. Do people treat it like it's normal? Like if she walks around and there's like people or other animals, are they like, okay. Why the fuck is this spider 3 feet tall?
Okay, I guess I can give a little bit more of the premise. So she hatches out of an egg in a field full of spider eggs, so it's just hatching season for her brood. And she's in a dungeon. She hatched in a dungeon because she's a monster.
Yeah.
She got reincarnated as a legit monster, and from there, her very brutal battle for survival begins, because she is like a hatchling of one of the weakest species in the dungeon. And unlike, for example, that one time I got reborn as a slime, or whatever the full title of this other one is, she actually struggles in the beginning. Slime basically comes in and is like, I can consume anything and adopt anything, and I have an infinite pocket space.
He's a slime.
But also I have an infinite pocket space where I can store anything I can consume. I can recreate it. Slime is OP from moment 1.
Yeah.
Spider is
a spider.
Yeah, or Kumoko, as her fan name is, I believe. Which basically could be translated as Spider Girl, but not in a superhero sense, but more a girl who is a spider, or a young female spider.
It's like spiders. Have you heard of spiders, man?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
This
We'll get
like
back. We'll get back to this. No. So, there's. Spider-Verse was loosely based off a comic-like series in the Spider-Man comics, where it pointed out different universes, not just Spider-Gwen and stuff, like multiple ones. There is a universe where the Spider-Man of that universe is just a collective of actual spiders that disguise themselves as a man.
Okay.
And so like when they're drawn all like, because they are just made out of spiders. And it's thousands of spiders. So their name is Spiders Man. And like they can still talk and everything. It's just like kind of a hive mind situation. And it's like, man, I want Spiders Man in a Spider-Verse movie, because I feel like that animation would be horrifying.
Yeah.
It's like watching the body blob from Akira move around. It looks wrong, Anyways, sorry, go back to the anime spider.
Yes.
I will never forego a time where I can reveal Spiders Man to the world.
No, what I'm trying to... so we have the premise. What I'm currently looking for is basically a few... Because... So my first exposure was the manga. which is like, nah, she has a humanesque face. She has not a just normal spider face, but no, she transfers a lot of character with it, which is like actually something that they did very well in the adaptation. It's like it's a very wordy light novel. So it's written by a nerd who really is into those kind of RPG fantasy worlds, and the original author goes completely
Aw,
nuts.
that frame actually is kind of cute. It
I
just kind
know.
of looks like a
She's a dope.
not a Pokemon, kind of a bit of a pocket monster aesthetic without being like Pokemon.
I mean,
Like that's actually cute.
Yeah.
Though it does kind of look like you put a cat's head on a spider's body.
Because she has those pokey ears.
Yeah, pokey ears, the kind of just general like fat face and stuff of like, kitty cats. Also, I put 2 frames of Spiders Man in our chat.
Yeah, I saw. I will show in a moment.
Oh, it's gross.
But yeah, also Kumoko is so amazingly sardonic at times.
Oh, lovely.
Open image in new tab. Yeah, that's the right. Why are you? I hate those pages that are so powerful that they overrule the YouTube thingy. But you're like, so what? So
How
yeah.
sardonic? Are we talking like Daria levels of sardonic?
No. She wishes.
I wish.
She is just a nerd with like, but she also has those, because it's basically the entire novel is written as internal monologue. So she does a lot of references and whatnot, and she's a nerd. But what the manga does, what I really, really like about it, is like, when she is having a daydream about having an exquisite meal, she gets to dress up in her. This is not diegetic. This is non-diegetic stuff that she imagines. Yeah. But she has a lot of personality through this. So now we come to the first but. But I would probably... It's a hard thing with this entire IP. I would still not wholeheartedly recommend the manga, even though I would say it's visually very appealing. Even though it's technically, she keeps eating... she is forced to eat other monsters, so it could be gory. It is not. It is... it is always like... you see her rip into just a mass, but there is no details, no nothing, so they keep it nice looking. Then of course we have Spider's own depiction, which is also just like, she's adorable. I like her.
I love this frame. I keep thinking of things to put in the place of that like glob that she saw, because this looks like a great like this is good content kind of thing. Just put a screen cap of something tasty, exquisite. Let's taste it one more time.
There's also another like showing basically she is like, she accepts stuff very fast, but she's also like, oh my god, she's not happy with her situation. So now I'm trying to
so I'm very interested to see the anime, because I remember you saying the anime is the weakest of the
let me first see if I can find the number 1 cover of the light novel. 15, 10, 9.
I don't know if I would say like Pomni, because Pomni doesn't really get used to being in the world that she's in the span of the Digital Circus pilot, Fidel. She's kind of having just a panic attack the entire time.
Okay, I'm trying to find the biggest... Oh, here's a nice big one. Okay. So, here it is. Yeah. Her face is... a little bit like, no.
What happened?
Keep in mind, this is just the cover for the light novel. It's like, the focus is not the art. It's just like, it's catchy, colorful. I actually recognize some of the monsters from the manga. So, but yeah, she has more human eyes, and they are not doing well. They are not.
I'm looking at the picture on my own screen because I wanted to zoom in. Oh, that looks weird.
It does.
I don't know how to describe it. Did you ever see episodes of Regular Show?
I saw clips of Regular Show.
Oh man, Well, basically, whenever they had like Rigby raise up his head, his eyes were always still like squarely right here, and it looks weird. That's what it looks like. It looks. Oh, I don't like how it looks.
I know.
She has like the face of a frog. Like it,
Oh.
especially in
Oh,
that
with
first
the
image,
first
because
one,
she
yeah.
has kind of like has
Wow.
like that kind of frog like
Yeah.
what a downgrade. She went from like a Retsuko faces to that.
Exactly. This is why I'm saying, like, hey, the manga is actually very nice to look at. No? Okay. So, here's the thing that where I was going. Like, sadly, I cannot 100% recommend the manga, even though it's visually very pleasing, especially compared to the original cover art of the light novel. However, it's the usual thing of adaptation. The light novel, it has, as so often in written literature, it has as much time as it wants to take. So she keeps talking. Kumiko is very, very talkative, so a lot of stuff gets cut. And at some point, while the story is very detailed, and as I mentioned, very detail-loving, he goes, or the writer goes on, like, on and on and on. This doesn't translate well into manga, which is like, where there's still a lot of internal monologue, can't be avoided.
Yeah, but you also have the expectation of show don't tell because you're a visual medium.
But it's a lot of like Kumiko analyzing how this world works because she's a nerd, so she's like, wait a second, is this like an isekai? It's a very self-aware one because she's a modern girl, so therefore she's familiar with the genre, with the trope. She's also a gamer, so she analyzes all those game mechanics in this world. Take it or leave it. It's like, for a concept that is, I can completely see if this is too meta for you and you're like, I'm out. That's fair. I will not blame anybody for being like, yeah, too meta. But given that I'm also not a fan of this concept where they are like, then again, I like Log Horizon. Nevertheless, where there is
it's the fact that there's so many that doesn't do that kind of, hey, we are meta,
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, but here it's still done charming because we are with an underdog who is just stuck in the situation, and we as the reader automatically are with her, and therefore we are also just sympathizing with her. This is probably what makes it work. But yeah, so a lot of those details, however, have to be cut for the manga because the manga is already very text heavy, which is where all those internal cosplays, come into play to provide some visualization for all the talking. So this is why the light novel, I would still say, like, oh yeah, the light novel is there to have the full experience. However, in the light novel, there's this thing that she has a very like, oh, what's this? Oh, I see. What just happened? It's a very in real time inner monologue, inner sort of, and this is something where I'm really not a fan of. Again, by now I'm hooked at the story, so that's a little bit of a small red flag for the light novel, where I would say like, okay, not everyone's cup of tea, not my cup of tea. I'm still here for it. But yeah, then naturally, after being like, okay, the light novel has this kind of narration that I'm not a great fan of. The manga has this thing where they skip over a lot of things. But there is also an anime. An anime will definitely have the best of both worlds, right? Right? An anime will have the best of both worlds, right? Oh, you're looking down. You're missing it already. It's like, give us...
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, this is just... Why is this just graphics? I probably picked the worst possible trailer. Okay. Oh, there she is. She basically has the face of the light novel covers. She's all CG, where I'm like, okay. See, it makes sense for a creature with 8 limbs to make her, and a pattern on her back. It makes sense to make her CG. But it's
guess
also her movements are not very appealing. She is just like, there is, in the opening is one shot where there's just her completely frozen in place model, and it's just doing a 360-degree turn, which is like, she doesn't have the charm from the manga.
Why does her face move around like a VTuber's?
I
Like
know,
it just
right?
kind of. Like I'm not digging that style.
No, absolutely not. And you think and I already mentioned that the manga skips over a lot of stuff. The anime moves at such a breakneck speed. It's hard to watch. Very hard to watch. Like, if I wouldn't already been familiar with the story, I cannot see people experiencing this as their first their first impression of this show and getting away like, oh yeah, that's a great show, I really like the story. And
why is there a monkey?
Oh, it's a monster. It's a monster. This trailer shows a lot of stuff that is later on.
I am not parsing anything from this trailer. Ew. Just like, huh?
Yeah. But I mean, like, look at this face of horror. Ah! It's even worse than those.
Oh, God, why? Ew. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't. Also, what's up with the legs? Why do they look like that?
Yeah. In the manga it works, but the anime is not able to transfer it over. So
well, also the manga and like the light novel illustrations, you know, they look a lot more simplified. This just looks like generic anime number 57.
I know, right? So yeah, like,
are anime scared of having unique art styles? Is this just a problem in animation? Like, this looks boring.
Let me.
Looks too boring for something that is about being a fucking spider, a 3-foot tall spider in a dungeon.
I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there. Okay. I'm trying to find a specific character to also show a comparison, manga versus anime, because great, I'm just seeing spoilers at this point. Why am I talking about this video?
I don't know. I don't know why you decided, hey, you know the thing I want to talk intensely about this week? The thing that I'm not done with.
I mean, I wanted to basically share my
first impressions.
My first impression and how insanely different the iterations are.
Wait,
like,
those are her other eyes?
Oh yeah.
Fuck you.
Exactly.
Those are just patterns.
Yeah, here.
Those are just...
Yeah.
Those I can believe because they're empty, like they're outlines. Why are they just ooh little freckles on this? Like, why is she pink? Like, just this is dumb.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Y'all could be reading actual books, but you're watching this.
Also, on that note, so I didn't find a direct comparison picture, but I found a picture. So
okay.
So would you believe that? This character from the manga.
Is that the one she's doing like a kickstand with in one of the pictures you showed?
No. That's just that's a little dragon baby.
Little dragon baby, okay.
Are you ready for the anime adaptation?
I'm gonna say no, but you're gonna show me anyway.
Indeed. So memorize this. Maybe even
this little baby dragon.
This little baby dragon. Let me make it even worse by showing you another picture of little baby dragon. Huh? That's how she looks. That's how she looks. Okay, we are on board.
That's so cute. I love them. What's this fucking Neopet? What the fuck? This is just a Neopet! Like
I am so not.
It's fucking. It's like a Dragamon. Like, what is this?
I am so not on board with any of those design choices for the anime.
What's with the? It looks like a fucking Pokemon, but they gave it like rabbit ears. What? This is dumb.
I know.
I'm grounding you, Denim. I'm grounding you for watching this shitty anime.
I mean, we are not watching the anime. We are both into the light novel. We are both. She is primarily reading the light novel. I am primarily.
Okay, good. As long as it's not the anime. This anime is making brain dead choices.
Oh, it does. It really does. But yeah, I talked far too long about it. But it was like about the interesting.
Wait, can we get Spider's Man on screen?
Oh right,
you said you were You said you were gonna put Spider. You lied.
I did. I usually do. Okay. Spider's
now here's
Man.
peak design.
Spider's Man.
I want to see this animated, especially with Spider-Verse people, because it's like, oh my god, it looks so gross. What's the point of wearing a mask?
Also,
you're made of spiders.
But the benefit is he doesn't have to use web shooters.
Yeah, he just shoots himself. I mean, I think like if you want to hear one of the stories of Spider's Man, I'm pretty sure what he does in one of the issues is that the spiders inside of Spider's Man goes inside Eddie Brock and basically eats him from the inside out.
Oh, that's a thing to do.
It's not gutty gory, but it is spiders coming out of someone's mouth gory. So unless you've had, I mean, if you want to relive that nightmare you had in high school, then you can read that. But yeah. So I guess it's my turn.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about something that I watched, the thing is, 2 of the 3 medias that I watched this week is stuff we've watched together, so I can't say that it was something that's solo.
Oh, you watched Solo. How did you like it?
The joke about that is we actually watched Solo together at the theater when it came out.
Yeah.
I remember, because it was one of the few times where you were like, I do not care about this movie so much, I'm going to the bathroom while we're at the cinema. And you came back and you were like, I literally didn't miss anything, didn't I? God, what a nothing movie.
Anyway, but what you actually want to talk about?
I was gonna say like, should I talk about the one Solo thing that I watched? Then we can go into maybe the things we've watched together.
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan, so you can take over for a bit.
I watched Trolls 3, and I'm weirdly happy to report that it's actually really good. And I need people to hear me out, because I know when I say that Trolls 3 is a good movie, people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're talking about the movies that have the little troll Justin Timberlake? And I say yes. Okay, let me explain. I really fucking... The first Trolls movie is one of the worst movies DreamWorks has ever made, and I'm gonna stick to that. But for some reason, the sequels are really fucking good. So I watched Trolls 3, and I was already gonna go into it with a negative perception, because all the trailers have Branch as a baby, and if you have a character who is a baby, I'm going to not like it from the get-go, because I don't like babies, and I don't like jokes revolved around babies, unless you're like the movie Storks. But like, no, it's actually really good, and I think it's just because these movies don't take themselves nearly as seriously as I think the first movie did. But the movie's basically about, like, Branch's long-lost brother, played by Eric Andre, because for some reason we keep casting Eric Andre in kids' movies, finds out that one of their brothers is being held captive by these weird-ass Betty Spaghetti, like, doll people, and being used to suck up their talent. So they have to bring the band back together so they can save their brother.
Oh, there they are.
And yeah. Which are some of the best. DreamWorks has been having A+ villains, because I fucking love the villains in this movie. Their names are Velvet and Veneer, and they are the most unapologetic, we don't want to work for our talent, so we're just gonna steal the talent from trolls because we like being famous. They don't have a tragic backstory or anything.
They're just
Literally
dicks.
literally one of the funniest scenes in the movie is like the boy one who's Veneer, played by Andrew Rannells, is like, we don't want to kill the guy. It's so cute, when it's up around screaming to go home. And the girl is like, do you want to go back to the dark place where we had nothing? And it shows them as little kids, like Oliver Twist, like, can we have some more? And then it just cuts back. It's like, girl, we were born in the suburbs. Our parents were dentists. And it just shows them in an upper middle class thing, just like, so how was school? Stop attacking. Like, it's so funny. I love this era of just Jack Horner and these two fuckers where they just are just not good people. And it's great. Yes, it also has Daveed Diggs as one of the brothers. Like, it's just a good movie. It's very, like, stylized. I mean, I will always give the Trolls movies this. Everything looks like it's made out of scrapbooky material. Like, even the water is rendered to look like Orbeez and shit, which is like, I love the creativity. But it's also just cute. It's just a cute little movie. I was like, man, I'm very shocked at how much I'm laughing at it too. Because so much of it is like either like, wow, this was written for a family audience, or it's written like a good Saturday Night Live sketch, which just makes me happy. I mean, one of my favorite jokes is, because this movie was like, their big thing is introducing new species, and they go to like a vacation island where everyone looks like a Muppet, and that's where they find one of the brothers, and the brother is apparently married to one of these Muppet people and has children. Keep in mind, trolls are this big. The Muppet people are implied to be the size of humans. So it's like, this is my very tall soulmate, but we make it work. And Eric Andre Troll is just like, how? Like, and it's like,
it's a kids movie. Don't answer.
I don't know, but he has like 6 kids, so it's just like, how?
I mean,
wait, no, I don't.
Who is the bigger one?
He or she?
Girl. The girl is the bigger one.
She.
So we have a little bit of a not rescuers.
B movie.
Chip and Dale situation there.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
You're welcome.
But yeah, like, also the main, like, one of the biggest highlights of it is the music. The soundtrack to this movie is so. I've been listening to the soundtrack unironically because it's just a really good, like, because a lot of it's mashups of songs, right? Like, especially boy band music, because that's the joke. Because Justin Timberlake was in NSYNC. Do you remember? I remember.
I do remember.
But, so they mash up a lot of songs from, like, New Edition, Backstreet Boys, Boys to Men, and so on and so forth, which I am fine with. They somehow incorporated a Weezer song. How they did that, I don't fucking know. But also, NSYNC came back together and made their first new song in, like, 20 years for this movie. And, the version that's sung by the actors and not NSYNC is the better version. So take that for what you will. But yeah, I actually recommend. Here's the thing: I recommend the Trolls movies if you just don't watch the first one, because the first one's kind of bad. But like the second and third movie are actually a lot of fun. There's still some jokes that don't land with me. Usually revolving around Branch being the baby brother, so, his brothers treat him like a baby sometimes. So, and I hate that type of humor. Don't know why, just gives me ick. But, it's fun. It's a fun little movie. I'm glad to say that DreamWorks has had more good movies this year than bad. So, like, the only movie that I'm just kind of like on is Ruby Gillman. And it's still okay, but it felt really like a straight-to-streaming movie.
Oh, the Kraken one, yeah.
Yeah, the Kraken one that, like, is kind of...
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, but
it all right. It all right. It's very paint by numbers.
That's what I heard. Like that, it's not bad. It's not bad.
I think the way that I think the way that I described it, because I was talking about this with people, it's kind of like during the really good era of Pixar, where you had Monsters Inc. and Incredibles, and then Cars 1, and then Ratatouille. And it's like, Cars 1 is a good movie, but when you put it next to Ratatouille, The Incredibles, and Monsters Inc., it's the black sheep of the family. That's what Ruby Gillman is for the current releases of DreamWorks, because you have Bad Guys, Puss in Boots: Last Wish, and Trolls 3, which are all surprisingly good movies, and then Ruby Gillman, which is okay. But yeah, so I recommend that one. That was a fun little solo thing to watch. I may have saw it not legally, but that's just because I'm kind of I haven't had time to go to like the cinema, and I don't know if Trolls 3 is at my cinema anymore. It may be out of there. There's still showings for Wish, and it's like I can't in good conscience watch that legally. Oops. So, but either way, but yeah. Anyways, shared medias, because we had two. So I guess like maybe let's start with Scotty Boy.
I guess we can start with Scotty Boy. Also, yeah, on the note of recommendation, yeah, for Spider, not the anime, I would recommend start with the manga if you can get your hands on it. If you generally can get into the story, I dare to say that especially the beginning of the manga is probably the better way to get in. Then I would recommend pick up the light novel. that's my recommendation.
You go.
Manga, primary media, and light novel to fill the gaps. Stay away from the anime.
Well, there you go. But yes, speaking of animes, me, Denim, and Max did a little Helltaker watch through of
nobody will understand the Helltaker reference.
We just have a group called Helltakers because we cosplayed as Helltaker characters once, and now it's a personality trait. But yes, basically we watched through the new Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, the show that you might have watched, or you have seen a thumbnail for it where people are like, Scott Pilgrim betrayed us. Wah. Which is a lot of the thumbnails I keep seeing for this anime.
Really? Curious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a question how far we can talk about it without having to turn on the spoiler warning.
I feel like this show is just a walking spoiler warning, because after episode 1, it's basically a spoiler warning.
Yeah, exactly. So... I guess spoiler-free first things like animation, good. I mean, good.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeously animated.
Yeah, that's
to the shock of no one.
Yeah, I mean they obviously went with the art style of the original comics, right? The comics came first. I had this question before.
The comics came first.
Exactly. So they had the original. They went back to the original art style.
It's written by the guy who wrote the original comics.
Oh, okay. So how can it be a betrayal? Seriously. Then there is the voice cast from the 2010 movie, like all the voice cast, including even the higher profile ones, like the Chris Evanses of the world.
Chris Evans and Anna Kendrick and Brie Larson.
Exactly.
Like it's fateful while also being. I think it's an alternative interpretation.
Oh, that's the way. Yeah,
which I think that is the best way that I can put it. Mm-hmm. If you're looking for a one-to-one thing of the books, that is going to disappoint you.
Yeah. But before, yeah, I would say we really liked it, like visually.
We're in the pre-show. Hello. Okay.
Oh, how did this happen?
I don't know. What did you do? There we go.
Okay. I actually just wanted to pause on the logo because I couldn't find a proper logo on Google for once. Okay. Give it to me. I want to see that. Nope. The word takes off, keeps blinking out of existence. There we go. Okay, I keep this and I'm not touching it anymore. But yeah. So we are still live, right? No? Since I fucked up one thing. Yeah, okay.
We're still live. We're still live.
Since a pre-show thing happened, I was like, oh god, there's something else happened. No, but yeah, I would say really we had a really good time watching it. It's, I guess, what we can say, which is not too spoilery, is that it addresses a few of the issues of the original run, and gives it a little bit more of a modern perspective.
I do wonder if a lot of people's, because I knew this was going to, even without how they decided to go about the story, I felt like one of the things that was going to be an inevitable issue for a modern Scott Pilgrim thing is the fact that they probably would go into the fact that there's a lot of toxicity in Scott Pilgrim that I feel like a lot of people don't address when they're talking about Scott Pilgrim, retrospectively, unless it's about Scott Pilgrim. Because a lot of people are quick to say how bad of a person Scott is, but it's like, he's not the only bad apple in this bunch, bud.
I mean, Ramona managed to pile up a bunch of exes who were all kind of angry with her.
Yeah, like,
angry
here's
enough
the thing,
to join
is
a
that
league.
the evil exes kind of became evil because of Ramona. There's no real indication that they were, like, not 100% evil people, with the exception of maybe a couple, like, before
Gideon.
they broke up with her. Yeah, like Gideon.
I mean,
but, like, you
yeah.
know...
The other people just seem to live their life, except for Gideon inviting them into the League of Evil Exes.
So, Ramona is kind of a sucky person. I feel like that should not be an out-of-pocket thing to say. Even in the books, she kind of just bails on Scott for like 5 months and doesn't call him. I think that's shitty. Oops. Also, from the get-go, she uses Scott's like head as a hyperspace highway so she could deliver stuff faster. She did this in the comics too. Like, he's obsessed with her because she's using his head as a shortcut, as a warp pipe. So it's like, just saying, she's not exactly
innocent.
The little pink-haired angel people like to proclaim her to be.
But yeah, so generally, before we go into spoilers, full recommendation from my end. I had a fantastic time watching it.
I had a great time. Also, Knives gets more development, and she's my baby, and I will protect her.
But I have to say, it's like, she has two D2 eyes, 2D eyes, D2, the gorilla singer.
2D
eyes, and it's like what makes him look creepy, still in a charming way, but on her it's just like those button eyes, like, oh no, must protect.
She's must protect. Also, like, young Neil and Wallace get a lot of screen time in this show, and that is okay with me. I love Wallace so much. He's a little bastard.
Oh, he is a bastard indeed. Okay.
But yeah, I feel like we need to go into spoiler time now.
Spoiler talk. So if you haven't seen the show yet, now is your time to mute us and just wait for the screen to return to normal. Because, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is an AU.
Yeah, so I got spoiled about the first episode before me and Denim and Max watched it. So I was just kind of sitting there while we're watching it, and Max keeps saying, like, man, they're going through the plot points really fast.
This is
an
entire show. They have more than a movie. Why would they do that?
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm very glad that I am not visible right now, because I'm kind of like... And then it happens. Matthew Patel comes in, and they fight, and here comes the punch, and Scott is gone.
And a few coins lie on the floor. Scott
so
lost
people thought Scott was fucking dead.
Exactly, and this is a starting point. So, it only hit me at the halfway through the show, like, oh, takes off can also be interpreted as being gone, not just going.
Yeah, the
off.
show is much more a Ramona Flower and X's story, because the whole thing is that Ramona's trying to find out where is Scott.
Or what happened to him.
What happened.
Something is weird about the things.
So she has to confront her evil exes, and not really even in a fighting sense. Like, the only one she has like a physical fight with is Knives. Not
Uh,
Knives. Not Knives.
the
The
female
girl,
ex, yeah, the female ex.
the half ninja. She, because like the rest of them she kind of just talks to, and the exes all kind of get a happy-ish ending.
Yeah, but yeah,
Like, they learn,
we don't need
they
to go spoiler.
well, I know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, it's one of those things where instead of going just straight into video game violence and everything, they actually flesh them out and humanize them a lot.
But funny enough, you still get the trademark over-the-top battles in, I believe, every episode.
Yeah, they still have video game powers, so don't get me wrong.
And fighting is still happening, so...
Oh yeah,
just
I mean, my
different-
favorite one is
yeah.
Lucas versus the
Yeah.
paparazzis.
Yeah.
Like, that was just great. But yeah, like, it's really good. The twist of what is the final evil X in the show is actually really fucking good. I that was like really nice. And I really recommend it. I feel like people are complaining like, oh, why wasn't this just an adaptation of the comics? I'm like, what? You have the movie. The movie is literally the best interpretation of the comic books. Like, what's the difference? You would have had it with really good animation, then just watch the first episode. This one actually gives us characters who only had like a couple lines in the movie, have like full, like, Matthew Patel is basically a main character.
Yeah. The dude who comes in, jumps 5 beats, Scott Pilgrim, and is dead. He now is a character.
Exactly.
Knives gets to talk more, and she's not just the dummy teenage girlfriend who is just like moaning her loss.
Yeah. And like, you know, the young Neil actually has like a lot of funny lines and stuff, and I love there's a development with Wallace in one of the evil exes that is so fucking funny. I just, you know, it's a really good show. I think I want a second season. They obviously set up for one, but I want more. I want more. It's a gorgeous show. It's a funny show. I feel like if you're an actual Scott Pilgrim fan who actually is self-aware of yourself as a Scott Pilgrim fan, I think you'll enjoy it. I think people who don't really know a lot about Scott Pilgrim will have a good time with it too, because it's just its own thing.
But here's also the thing where I don't. No, it's still, yeah, the disappointment of having expected just an adaptation of the original comics, which is like, okay, your expectations have been disappointed. Fair, happens to the best. No? If you expect A and you get B, okay, you need to overcome this disappointment feeling. But after you have done that, especially now that you mentioned earlier that it's written by the original dude, this is a sequel. This is canonically a sequel. It's
just more Scott Pilgrim
exactly.
content. It's the equivalent of the meme of the, oh boy, 2 cakes. Like, it's just like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you have more Scott content that you get to consume.
Yeah, but because that's basically what's going on here. More of it, nah? A what if, a big what if, which still ties into the original story. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess like I wholeheartedly recommend this.
I guess anything else you want to say in why we have the spoiler screen up?
No, not really.
Well then, let us return to normality. Still having those babies going mad in the top there.
But man, I bet the anime these babies are from is just so wholesome and funny.
It looks like a very, very lighthearted, fun anime. I would definitely on a warm on a cold winter evening, cuddle up with this show in front of the fireplace and a glass of wine.
Sit down with your family, with your mother and your
Yes,
nieces and
yes.
nephews, and just watch this together.
Exactly. A Christmas movie.
God. But yeah, so that was Scott Pilgrim. The other thing we watched together this week.
What else? Oh, I have also another media. But yeah, what else what else did we watch together?
Nerdy Prudes Must Die.
Oh yeah, we did. It even mentioned that you wanted to talk about it. Yeah,
yes,
I totally
did.
remembered that.
Yeah, do you want to talk about your media though? If you have another one?
We can first see does Nerdy Prudes Must Die have a trailer?
I don't know.
I'm trying to find out. Let me see. Do we have? You look coming soon. Let's see if this is okay. Talk about it.
Yeah. So I feel like I've talked about the Hatchetfield series on the podcast before, but the Hatchetfield series is a series of musicals from Star Kid Productions, the people who made Twisted, the guy who doesn't like musicals, so on and so forth. It's a series of horror comedy musicals that all take place in this town called Hatchetfield in like slightly alternate universes, but the connecting factor is that Hatchetfield is just a fucked up place. And this is the newest installment of it called Nerdy Prudes Must Die, which is basically about these high school kids who are tormented by this bully called Max Jaegerman, and they try to prank him to get back at him, accidentally kill him. And he says his final words is "Nerdy Prudes must die," and he haunts them and tries to kill them. And then other things happen, but I don't want to go into spoiler.
Yeah.
Paranormal funsies. And yeah, I think this one may be my favorite out of the 3 Hatchetfield ones. This was just a really good musical. Fucking the guy who plays Jaegerman steals the show.
Oh, he has, yeah. I mean, I can't
He
go
every
back
time
to
he
to give us.
every time he's on screen.
There he is. Look at this
there
ham.
he is. Every time he's on screen, he steals the scene.
He
This
had
dude-
ham for breakfast a week straight.
Yeah, this dude eats like very Jim Carrey in the best way possible. And the scenery is stuck between his teeth. He eats it so much, and I adore it. Like, he is just so unapologetically a bastard. And I mean, literally, his villain song is called Literal Monster. And he points out in the song that he knows he's going to peak in high school. So might as well, enjoy the fact that he's the king while he can, kind of thing. And this is before he dies and becomes a vengeful spirit. This is him as a human being.
I mean, he has more self-reflection than many other characters in his position.
I mean, true. He is just really fucking funny. All the characters are actually pretty damn funny in this musical. Like, the actors just have really good line reads. There's a fantasy sequence that one of the characters has that has Jaegerman in it, where this like really religious church girl has a fantasy about him, and he's like, "Is that a crucifix around your neck?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have a secret. I love Jesus." And it's just so... It shouldn't be a funny line, but he says it in a really funny way.
True.
Like, it's a funny musical, but it's also like there's some really emotional moments. Like, especially near the end with the main character Peter and the main girl Steph, where they sing like a reprise with each other. And she's not in this shot, but like the reprise that they do, where they reprise because they have a song called like "If I Loved You," it like halfway through the musical, where it's "I don't actually like you," and it's so sweet and cute. But then it gets offset by the fact that here comes Jaegerman beatboxing, grabbing a bullet from the air kind of thing. It's so funny. And the music is so good. lot of rock music
Yeah.
in it, and it's just really solid. I had a really good time, and luckily, I think you can enjoy it even if you don't know the whole mythos of
Mm-hmm.
Hatchetfield. You enjoy it a lot more when you know it, because that was kind of me and Max's watching, is that he didn't remember like the Black Friday musical that happened in between. Meanwhile, I'm someone who consumes every little morsel of the Hatchetfield stuff, and we both enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
Like, even if you have a sliding scale of knowledge of what's going on, it works as a standalone thing and being an installment in a franchise. Which is a science. Did Rocket not want to come up on your
No,
lap?
no, he's like. Oh, okay. He was maybe still in. You know
He
what to
sees
do, buddy.
paste.
You know what to do. Dip, 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 dip. Here's the paste. Here's the
There
paste.
he is.
There
There
he
he
is.
is.
Come on, come on.
Yay, the
There
true
you
guest
are.
star, Rocket.
So when it says just us, this includes Rocket. Yeah.
Rocket, what's your opinion on musicals? Do
He's
you like musicals, Rocket?
he's a ferret. They are not really known for their music, musicalness.
Oh, little baby. He looks so small in this shot, and
I
that's a
know.
lie.
I mean, he's cut off before he turns into a pear, where his entire rest of the body. But yeah, he's also like, he's actually holding on to my hand with his claw, like, no,
Oh,
don't take this paste away. Leave the paste here. Yum, 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 yum.
God, heaven forbid there's a day where it accidentally falls off the table. The dude is going to steal it and rip it open like a predator.
I mean, what do you think? Where those holes come from that are closed up? Whenever he gets his hands on it, we are surprised. We have a new tube which is no, already a while old, and it has not yet fallen prey, because usually with every tube we have,
He's like,
eventually.
"What? Huh?
Eventually, an accident happens, and they get one moment of not paying attention, and boom, claws, teeth in it.
Yeah, you should pick him up so chat can see just how chonky he is right now.
He's currently busy smearing his face all over my Christmas sweater. Thank you.
Wow, a Rocket hates Christmas. I know.
Oh
I
wow!
know. I know.
Oh wow! He's letting himself like extra hang, like.
Look at this! Look at this fat man. And you guys may be thinking, "Oh, it's winter. Isn't that a natural thing for animals?" No, not for him. Not for his kind.
And now you're also released. You are really, really against me right now, aren't you?
He's being a teenager right now.
Oh, he is very much so. Oh,
but at least he's cute.
Okay, he starts grooming, so he's going to be here for a while. So, I guess next topic.
But I mean, I guess unless you wanted to share any thoughts about the...
No, I can basically confirm it. Oh, buddy, don't jump off my arm. Don't. Just, buddy, go over. Okay. Whoop, there you go. Blap.
Remember, folks, he was the smart one of the two back when there were two ferrets.
But yeah, so no, I can basically confirm what you said. I also it's, if you like musicals performed on stage, then this is peak content, because it's like a what's the term again for it? Not quality recording, professional.
A pro shot.
Pro shot, yeah. It's a pro shot of a stage show. So, if you are absolutely like, musicals, stage shows, then first of all, uncultured swine, get out of here.
Second of all, I have a great musical for you called The Guy Who Doesn't Like Musicals.
Which happens to be also from Star Child. I guess I have to link both now.
Star Kid. You had a 50-50 chance of getting the name right. Star Child.
Okay, Stella Kid.
Cosmic Kid.
No, that is already a Netflix show.
Oh, no, that's Kid Cosmic.
Yeah. But yeah.
God damn it.
But no, I have, good. I am not as much of a theater kid as Key, but I also have my theater background, so I can appreciate a good Oh, no, Odie, take this trash out of here.
Starfield hater.
This is a quality show, okay?
But yeah, you're not as much of a theater kid as me. But,
exactly,
you know.
but yet I have a little bit of my theater background, so a musical background. So I certainly can. Oh yeah, laugh while you still can, you cat. Until I sent my ferret after you. Then again, ferrets and cats actually get along pretty well. This is backfiring horribly right as I'm speaking. No, but the selection of music. I mean, that's probably also a thing that musical not doesn't equal musical. But yeah, here this more rock leaning selection is totally down my alley. The humor from Starkid is great. I mean,
Oh yeah.
again, the most popular one is probably Twisted, the one where Aladdin is retold from the point of view of Jafar as the good guy. And I'm not sure if this is the most popular one, but if you ever heard of that one or only know this one, this is the same people. So it's
the same people, so it's a seal of quality.
Yeah.
Also, like the singers are so good in this too.
Thunderstrike Gaming, Cosmic Offspring. Now this sounds like a child of yours. Like
never. That is not happening. No offspring here.
What about your plans of getting a dog?
That's okay. That is my only no biological offspring here.
And what about Fabi?
Okay, Febby is not biological. Apparently, according to some people, he just kind of crashed onto Earth and decided you. But like, no, the singers in this are really fucking good. Cause like the Jaegerman's a new actor for Starkid, and he's a fucking powerhouse when it comes to singing. And there's this the girl on the left who plays a lot of the incidental characters, the black girl. She has a part in this like Hatchet Town song in the middle, and they kept in the fact that the crowd was like cheering her on when she was singing because she can fucking belt. Like all of them have really standout like singing moments, which is just, you know, I mean, of course it's a musical; they should be good at singing, but you know, when they're really the fact that they switch out because you know they're all dressed up like nerdy prudes. There were times where Max kept commenting of like, "Oh, your nerd voice is slipping out," because
because they always talked a little bit like that, and then they sang like that.
Yeah, but also, yeah, it's also very well choreographed. Like, it's a very fun looking musical. I wish you had the GIF that I used when I tweeted about it. Because there's a really good gif of Jaegerman doing like little kicky legs kind of thing, like "Hey Grace." I tagged you in that one, so
should be able to find it easy enough. I just didn't think of it. That's all.
But yeah. I fully recommend it. I mean, I recommend all the Hatchetfield musicals. So I would personally say start with the guy who didn't like musicals. Then, you know, you don't lose anything by going in the proper order. But, you know, if you want one that's probably the least supernatural, I guess this one is. Look at this fucking bastard child. This little freak. I love him. His role, that is a dream role. If I could return to the stage, I want to be a Jaegerman. I want to be an unapologetic villain on stage and just eat the scenery. That's the dream. Why can't they write more girl characters like this? Like, I want more of this. Then again, I could also probably play Grace Chastity in the show very well. Repressed religious kid. Oh, great. But yeah, so that was mine. I guess you can talk about your last thing, and then we should move on to questions.
Oh yes, yeah. I will just do a quick one.
This. Okay.
Wow, that's a reaction I didn't see coming.
I'm very mixed on the specials.
Okay.
I like the newest one that came out.
I mean, it has
like the one that actually has the 15th Doctor. But I'm also very in a meta sense, I'm very kind of iffy on bringing back Tennant in the first place.
I mean, I have the feeling it is, among other things, that his infamous "I don't want to go." No, they try to make up a little bit for it in the War Doctor special, like a couple years ago, where they also got Tennant back, and then he's just like, "I don't want to go," when he's just entering his TARDIS at the end of the special, and I believe Smith makes fun of it, like, he just keeps saying that, like downplaying his refusal to go at his original run. Or
Yeah.
the Doctors. I'm not sure how much this was Tennant and how much it was just the Doctor.
I mean, Tennant loves Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I fully believe that he genuinely wants to just do more Doctor Who, which is fine. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. The Capaldi and the 13th Doctor's runs were so mucked up that I'm kind of like, man, why is the best run we've had in a while just these specials with a Doctor we've already had?
But that is actually kind of the point why I wanted to talk about, why I felt it like it's probably the best Doctor Who we had in forever. As somebody who got swept up a little bit in the what's his name?
Moffat?
Yes, in the Moffat run, because I came in. I was previously a Moffat fan. I think Moffat can be really, really good in the right context, and the right context is not showrunner. Moffat, before he became showrunner, has written some to this day most critically acclaimed, fantastic Doctor Who standalones, like Silence in the Library, like Blink. But as a showrunner, as proven so many times, if certain creators get too much power, Moffat, George Lucas, Rowling, if they get complete creative control, you learn that no, not every artist or not every creator can function without oversight from another entity. The restraint is what often, which made many of them better. Like, the best Doctor Who episodes from Moffat were the ones where he was just a writer. His show Coupling on BBC was a low budget, crappy sitcom show, and those limitations made the show good. Later
he works
shows
better when he has an envelope to push, but when he's the one making the envelope.
Think of Hyde, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde adaptation he did. It's like, fun elements, but overall, because he had too much power, ne?
I like a lot of the stuff in these new specials. I'm just very like, why is this the best we've had in so long? Like, I don't know, it makes me sad. It's just kind of like, why couldn't have this much care gone into the 13th Doctor's run? I feel so bad for her.
That's the one thing I do regret about it, that yes, that often enough you associate the negative run with the Doctor and not with the showrunner, which yesterday I could still remember her name. Today I forgot it. But yeah, the actress of the 13th Doctor. Where I'm also like, at the time when her run started,
Jodie Whittaker.
Thank you. When Jodie's run started, I was still like, I had a good enough time with. Okay, at least I'm fair. I also forgot his name. No, not Eccleston. This is the 9th one.
Capaldi.
Thank you. I was there for the. I dropped off in the middle of Capaldi run at some point, but I got back into the saddle and then was with the show by the end of it. And so when the Whittaker run started, even though once again I'm doing the thing that I criticized, you should not point it to the Doctor, but you should point to the showrunner, because at the end of the day, that is what has a bigger influence. But yeah, with Whittaker, there was also the new showrunner. And she never had a chance. She never had a chance because the showrunner didn't do good Doctor Who, and they probably could have cast Tennant and it would not have worked. However, with Russell T Davies back, who was coincidentally also that might potentially be related why we brought Tennant back. As you mentioned, Tennant loves to do anything Doctor Who, including producing grandchildren for previous Doctors. So the Russell T Davies came back, which was the guy before Moffat who brought Doctor Who back into the 21st, brought it back from an obscure, retired or permanently hiatused IP into the 21st century. He was there from the beginning with Eccleston, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he brought Doctor Who back. He started with Eccleston. He then was there for the entirety of the Tennant run.
I think he was there for the entirety of Tennant, and he left like either right before or right at the beginning of Smith's run.
And Moffat took over.
Because Smith was very
Moffat's
much a
Doctor.
Moffat
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
And I mean, like,
And
that was the thing, is that, like, you got that false sense of security that Moffat knows what he's doing, because Smith's season wasn't bad.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't, but the problem is, in retrospect, you see the issues. I was saying earlier, I was completely swapped away with the Moffat run. I was like, yeah, I was buying into the hype, like the girl who lived, the impossible girl. No, the girl who lived was something else. But he liked those names, like the titles, no? The Impossible Girl and stuff like this. And I got wrapped away in like the Smith's introduction, where he is just like coming in, putting on his bow tie, and it's like, I am the Doctor. This planet is protected, and this giant alien eyeball is like, oh my god! Where years later, I saw a video where somebody was like, no, any previous Doctor would have come in and done something, and was not just coming in, buying into his own hype and scaring scaring monsters away just by being himself. And this is something that kept happening through Moffat's run. So this was kind of like this bubble, this self-grandizing bubble. And then I'm not sure. But Moffat.
I mean, like when. Oh, sorry.
But Moffat also did the Capaldi run, didn't he? Or who was Capaldi?
Capaldi, I think, was still Moffat. But the problem with Capaldi and Whittaker's runs, and it's not... I feel like I have to preface it. It is not Capaldi and Whittaker's fault. They are both fantastic actors for the Doctor when they are giving good material. But here's the problem with them. They show the best aspects of their runs usually near the end of them, right when the writers give up on them. Because the later half of Capaldi's run, when they just make him a cool old man, is fantastic. And I think Whittaker invokes a lot of the more energetic Doctor that Matt Smith was. And she was fun, but they barely gave her anything.
Yeah, the stories just were unappealing.
They gave more Doctor-like episodes to fucking Clara during the Capaldi run than they ever did to Whittaker, who was the actual Doctor. Like, it's just, I feel bad, because I really hope that when they do reunion specials and stuff, they get Whittaker back. She says she'll do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I want her to shine.
Yeah.
It's like Margot Robbie with Harley Quinn. We can get sold on them when you give them good material. Yeah,
screw the first Suicide Squad movie. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But then now Margot Robbie is Harley
and I'm very happy that Russell came back for this, because man, the 15th Doctor's actor was giving good material to make a first impression with, even though I find his regeneration, not spoiling, I find the regeneration to kind of be an ass pull.
Yeah. They wanted to have their cake and eat it.
Well, also the weird implications that come with the science behind it, because I don't know if this is a spoiler thing.
It probably is.
Okay, well...
Maybe,
quick thing.
Yeah. Okay, a quick thing.
The fact that they said that the bi split thing with that has the implication that now every Doctor can exist now at the same time. Like, as in, which means
already couldn't thanks to time travel.
Well, yeah, but now it's kind of like, oh, the regenerations have now split into their own sentient beings, and it's like, is this just a weird setup for you to do more reunion specials later?
I have this.
You didn't need this justification before.
I honestly think it's mostly if my suspicion is correct, that it was all about giving Tennant a happy end. That this was just like to bring in a new Doctor, but have Tennant still enjoy his happy end. That's my guess.
I suppose,
hope
but
they
okay,
will
that
not
that
milk
was
it.
that was the one little spoiler thing. Point being,
problem.
I like the new Doctor a lot.
Yeah.
I think I
don't know either, but yeah.
Well, the actor goes by they them, but like
okay.
I think they are doing a great job so far. It's probably one of the best first impressions in a while. But yes, what did you think?
Yes, so for me it was really like having Tennant and Donna back helped, but it felt like good old Doctor, like the Doctor Who that I grew up with, because I didn't grow up on the old one. I grew up with I was already accordingly old, but with in my 20s. This was half a lifetime ago for me. Give me that.
When you were younger.
Yeah, half a lifetime ago, when the new iteration of Doctor Who happened, this is what I grew up with and what I fell originally in love with. And having Russell T. Davies come back and give this feel again. Those 3 specials got me hyped again. They felt like watching Doctor Who, old Doctor Who again, and not just because we had an old David Tennant in it. He got a few more wrinkles.
Old quote unquote, the man never fucking ages.
Oh, but in some of the close-ups I was like, his skin is not as fresh as 20 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope I age as gracefully as David Tennant.
In the third one, we had like Tennant and NPH, like 2 of those people who are technically old by now, but they have the energy of 20-year-olds.
Oh yeah. Also, Neil Patrick Harris is fantastic in this.
I mean, it's Neil Patrick Harris.
I know, but I mean, he hasn't been in a lot of stuff recently.
True. Yeah, Matrix.
Also, you would think like, oh no, an American is doing a British accent in the British show, but he does a pretty good job. So kudos to him.
He does so many
it's like,
accents.
Man, and I mean, he had that's a big shoe to fill to play the character that he plays.
Yeah, I wouldn't know because I don't know the original iteration, but yeah, it's a known character for the true fans out there. Apparently, I'm not a true one. But yeah, now I didn't want to talk long about it, and yet here we are. Generally, I guess it's
Doctor Who. What do you expect?
Doctor Who. Here is maybe my thing, my closing thought of it. If you dropped off it, doing Smith, doing Eccleston and whatnot, and especially Whittaker. I dropped off during Whittaker, and I did not go back because, again, I'm feeling bad for her, but the writing just lost me so fast. It was just like I didn't even get like many people were like, oh no, too woke and whatnot. No, that wasn't the thing. There were some woke lines in those specials that were cringe. Let's be honest. But I still had a good time. And
here's my thing. I'd rather them do some cringy lines that are woke than being regressive.
Oh, absolutely.
And, like, look, it's like I hate to say it. It's like your older like relatives trying to be understanding and learning, kind of thing. They're doing their best. And I do think it comes from a good place. I mean, like, and I had the feeling they are trying to make the active effort given the fact that their new doctor is a queer actor. So, probably wanting to make sure that they are on the good side of history for that. Yeah. But you know what? I'm glad that they're trying.
Indeed.
They've had cringier lines about cringier things.
Oh, that is true. So yeah, overall, what I want to say is, if you loved the beginning of modern Doctor Who but fell off at some point, here is a good point to try to get back into it. And with that, yeah, I guess
now it's time for
out of the week. I don't think we have too much to say about it. It's like the traditional collage of the year. We already did our looksy-becksy earlier, so Q&A indeed.
Yes. And while I'm grabbing the questions, just saying, if people are like, who is Neil Patrick Harris in it? He's the toy maker. And if you don't know the toy maker, that was literally like one of the first villains for the first Doctor. So this is like a classic. We're talking classic character. So, that's why it's an important character to fill. All right, there's your server. I have too many servers. But yeah, I know we have some on Twitter.
Oh yeah, we do have some on Twitter. Okay, let's throw in our traditional J-Rock. Would you rather star on a popular holiday music single or star in a popular holiday movie? I mean, I guess that's easier for me than for you.
Why don't you go first, then? I have to think.
I do not. Do not do the singing anymore, and therefore I would most certainly prefer the movie. So.
See, the thing is, when I think of holiday singles, all I can think of is the novelty songs, where singing is not like. The quality is not the most important thing here. There's literally a holiday classic called "Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer."
But no, I would go for the holiday movie. I already have my Rammstein Christmas sweater on. So, yeah. And then I like movies. I like the idea of being in a movie, but I'm far too self-conscious about my singing.
I think I would also go with the movie. Just because with the caveat, I want to be the villain in the Christmas movie.
Ooh, nice.
Because that ends one of two ways. Either I get redeemed and I learn the true meaning of Christmas, or I become like the robbers in Home Alone and just get my shit handed to me, and it would be very funny. And I'm gonna be progressive. Women can get in slapsticky situations too. So I guess the movie. But we got another holiday question from Death Alchemist in the Discord. Funniest holiday tradition you ever took part in? I mean, going to the Christmas, the Christ child is coming as a very interesting one.
Only for anybody who is not German. So I guess
I know, but look, when you say it out loud, it sounds stupid.
So here in Germany, we don't have Santa Claus coming. I mean, nowadays there's a little bit the Weihnachtsmann, which is basically Santa Claus. But we also have St. Nicholas actually already visiting on December 6th. So since Santa Claus, Santa, Holy Claus, Nick Claus, Santa Claus is just a weird adaptation of St. Nicholas, who apparently actually did the gift-bringing shenanigans when he was alive. So, based on a real person, believe it or not just on Coca-Cola. So we already celebrate him on December 6th, so who is bringing the presents on Christmas? So it cannot be Santa Claus, because, already there. The entire idea of bringing in the Weihnachtsmann, which is just Christmas man, who is basically the appearance of Santa Claus, but with a German adaptation name, because we already have St. Nicholas, we don't need Santa Claus. We have das Christkind, the Christ child. And the idea is because, what is Christmas? Christmas is the celebration of baby Jesus. And therefore, baby Jesus is coming by and bringing the gifts. Now, how does that work? Because we have a literally 0-day-old infant. It doesn't make sense. So there are versions where it's just a bigger child somehow, like basically an angel, but it's also das Christkind. So it is technically baby Jesus, but it's not, because it's kind of older, but it's still a child and long blonde hair and shit like that. Or it's
blonde.
Or it's like the delivery is happening through angels, so the angels do all the hard lifting, while the Christ child is, I don't know, just taking all the credit.
The Christ child just knows what the kid wants. It's like, Timmy wants a new train set. So says Christ.
Funny enough, since the question came up about Krampus, I had to learn about Krampus from Binding of Isaac, because at least in the region where I grew up in Germany, we don't have Krampus, we have Knecht Ruprecht. Now, Knecht Ruprecht is kind of fulfilling the role of Krampus, but he is not a demonic monster that takes the evil children and puts them in a sack.
And hits them with sticks.
what Knecht Ruprecht does, Knecht Ruprecht is a human, so he's not a demon, but he's basically an evil, a dark reflection of Santa. He's not a villain, he is just there to hand out punishment where Santa hands out gifts. So the good children...
It's Bizarro Santa.
He kind of is. Like, he's a travel companion for Santa, and Santa is like, you were on my good list, you get a gift, you were a naughty one. Knecht Ruprecht, get out the stick. Because Knecht Ruprecht is like similar outfit but more in brown tones, and his beard is sometimes not white but gray. But
I'm sorry, I'm imagining just the old Star Trek episodes where they would go to the dimension where there's evil ones and it's just with a goatee.
Basically,
but it's still the Santa beard, so it's a Santa beard and then the goatee on top of the Santa beard.
But yeah, he still beats up the bad children with a bundle of sticks. So.
Why does it still end with hitting kids?
Because
What's wrong with you people?
Because they're on the naughty list, obviously.
Don't hit kids!
Naughty! But yeah, the hitting is not really happening anymore. I never got... no, obviously, you don't actually dress up a person to beat up children. So it's usually like you have Santa Claus who gives out the gifts and Knecht Ruprecht who is just standing next to him. But funny enough, there are never naughty children. On those events where both appear, exclusively good children, and sometimes parents get a light beating by Knecht Ruprecht on the butt.
I mean, I found through Calvin and Habs, they talk about how in some Austrian towns they actually do the Krampus ritual where they take kids out and drag them in bags and hit them with sticks, and it's like a tradition, and I'm like, I would hate my life as an Austrian child. Like, what does that... There's some generational trauma imbued by Christmas time, I guess, in Europe, and that explains so much about why you people are the way that you are.
I guess so. But yeah, your
okay.
answer.
Oh, well, okay. Mine is I kind of lived it vicariously, because, general American Christmas. We weren't that, spicy when it came to that, but we had a tradition for my father when it came to Christmas time. So, Papa Keyframe story, always a great one. My dad loves scratcher tickets, so we would always get him some scratcher tickets for Christmas, amongst other gifts. But what we would always do is that there's these cubes that you could put stuff in, and it's basically like a 3D maze. There's a little ball in it, and you're supposed to maneuver the ball to the end of the maze, which unlocks the thing. So that way he could get scratcher tickets out. And we did it for a few years, and he hated it. Because he doesn't want to... He got frustrated with it, as you would. And then one year, we did it and everything. And then we woke up in the morning, and there's my dad. And on the table is a hammer and a broken thing.
So
and him scratching... He took a hammer, and he took the back of the hammer and just went, ba-thunk!
So he glass
and
onions.
It open.
He glass onions that thing.
Yes, and everyone's like, Steven, what did he? That's not how you solve it. He's like, it opened.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, well, look, he ain't wrong. Though I do feel like maybe that event puts something in my head, or maybe that shows that I am my father's child, and that whenever we go to escape rooms, I am usually the first person to brute force puzzle. And it's like, what? It opened. So,
I mean, on that note, for people unfamiliar with the term, brute force in an escape room doesn't mean actual force. It's just like circumventing the puzzle by just trying all combinations and equivalents.
It opened. And yeah, just to say, folks, my dad did say more than 2-word phrases. I know that a lot of my stories usually end with him saying just 2-word phrases of, it was funny, or it opened. But you don't need to say a lot to be hilarious.
Also, on that note, how is your lawsuit against Ryan Johnson coming along, since he clearly took real-life inspiration from your dad for Glass Onion?
The paperwork is in the mail.
Ah, excellent. Get that
But okay,
sweet modern detective money.
So do we have any other
Oh
Twitter
yeah,
questions?
we have more Twitter questions. One very Christmassy, so thanks for that, Mute Pony 66. What's your favorite melee weapon and why? I actually have an answer.
I mean, go ahead.
Yes, so my favorite melee weapon, which probably has no real life thought about the application ever put into it, but, and this goes back. So I dare to say nowadays people know again what the Mana franchise is, since they just renounced a sequel at the Game Awards. I grew up
First mainline game in 15 years.
Yeah, I grew up on original Secret of Mana. This time actually grew up because this was at least in the 90s. This was my first video game I intensely, really sunk so many hours into, and I played multiple times, and I grinded out those levels. Ground out? Ground out sounds wrong. Grinded also sounds wrong.
I mean, it is the term grinding. I don't know what the, you grinded the levels.
I grinding it, the levels out.
Since when have we cared about grammar?
It's true. But yeah, so, and in this game, one of the 6 weapons that you can, or the 8 weapons that you can have, I believe everything was in 8s or whatever. One of the 8 weapons was a claw, which was basically just like some kind of glove thing, but with blades covered.
Yeah.
Basically, what Wolverine's claws would look like if they would not come out of his body, but would be like attached to a glove thingy. And for some reason,
you actually like this weapon so much you made that like your Gemsona's weapon. You were like,
I did. See, so it carried over. So years later, when Steven Universe came around and Key was designing Gemsonas, was like, hey, what would be your Gemsona weapon? I'm like, a claw.
I think you literally sent me sprites from Secret of Mana to be like, that one.
Exactly. So
I mean, I actually have an answer with because I actually know how to use this weapon. Staff.
But yeah, because the claw, technically, it's a super impractical. You have to get super close, even for a melee weapon. It's like super gory because you have to stab or slice people with knives. It's kind of a messed up weapon, so...
I mean, it's basically like having brass knuckles, but the brass knuckles just got fucking supercharged.
So, yeah, it's probably, if I ever would reflect on it...
Don't ever have an itch when you're wearing that glove, or else, like... But no, mine is a staff, like a bow staff. I actually know how to... I know how to use one, but I think I also like it a lot because I used to do like what's it called, like flag guard back in the day. So flag twirling and stuff. And baton twirling. So I know this is hard to believe, but I at some point had hand-eye coordination. I know that it's very hard to believe that me of all people would have it, but so like that's probably something that is my favorite one, just because I can do the flare and I know how to defend myself with it. A boring answer, but it's because I actually know the practical application. Color guard, yeah, that's what it was called at school. But yeah, there's a PVC pipe that we have at the gym. We use it to, like, if you need to do a bit of balance, if you have trouble lunging and stuff, which I do because I have bad knees. You use it. And my trainer does not like when I have that one because I tend to, if I'm left alone with it, I just start twirling it because I need stuff to do with my hands. And it's both impressive, but he's just like, I'm just afraid you're going to hit someone with it. And it's like, yeah, that's on brand. Because I do not focus on other people when I'm at the gym. It is me and me alone. I don't look at you, you don't look at me. If you get hit, well, I'm sorry you were in my wingspan. It's a full building. Why are you close to me? But next question. Let's see. From Factual Facade, which one of you is more likely to be the devil on the other's shoulder?
Ooh, yeah, I mean...
Is this really a question? Like, I don't think I would be the devil on your shoulder.
Occasionally, but yeah, the majority of time it's me. It's me. I'm the one who corrupts others.
When am I ever the devil? When have I ever said to do something that's not a good idea? I'm usually giving you advice and you don't listen. I'm a beleaguered angel.
Yeah, but that's probably the thing, because you get so frustrated in your angel job that every now and then you're like, okay, now I'm giving you a bad idea. I mean, it's usually more like I come up with a bad idea and you are just, do it.
Okay, see, that's the thing. I am a violent enabler.
Which is kind of also the shoulder devil.
I guess, because it's just, to quote a wise man, it'd be funny. So, like, you know, but yeah, you are more likely the devil on my shoulder than I am the devil on yours. Inconsistency.
Yeah.
I mean, like, believe it or not, we do not try to fuck each other over that often. In like, hey, you know this bad idea, you should do it. But if it would be funny. Though usually when we do this, it is most of the time it's something we are like, hey, we should do this. It's not like, hey Max, it'd be funny if you stuck your phone out over the Empire State Building. I'm sure that'll be worth taking a picture of.
And I did, and the picture is great.
Is it? I don't remember.
No, the pictures look good, but I was like,
you had that. You were white.
My phone is falling.
You were white knuckling that phone. I've never seen someone have a death. It didn't help that the wind up there was so fucking strong.
Right? That was probably one of the reasons why I was so like, oh god, I must not drop it.
I mean, the thing that I focused on more from that was the hilarity of us walking and talking, you stopping in place and being like, wait, the binoculars, and running away from me because you were like, oh, if I put my phone against the little viewfinders, you could take a picture of the Statue of Liberty. And it's like this 6 foot tall, wearing a black overcoat, running in an opposite direction of everyone else. And I'm like, oh, please don't get us kicked out.
Especially not from the top of the tower.
Yeah, especially not from the top of the Empire State Building. Okay, so next question. It's a would you rather.
I also have more.
Oh, sorry. I thought we only had 2 Twitter questions.
No, we have another one.
Go ahead.
But this one is probably mostly you, and I am just the commentator.
Okay.
From Fidel. Who had the better sentential celebration, Warner Bros. Or Disney? Now, I am not really... What did they do for their celebrations? Were there celebrations?
Okay. Well, yeah, because they both celebrated like 100 years.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. It depends on your POV, I guess. Because Warner Brothers just has been fucking themselves over the entire year. They have not made a single good decision. They are actively making bad ones.
I mean, this sounds like a great way to celebrate. I mean, any good celebration is full of doing bad decisions, like shots and worse things.
I mean, but their celebration special was a Teen Titans Go special, so take that as you would.
Okay.
I know, which is like, hey, we're celebrating Warner Brothers, so let's have the Teen Titans host a tour of the Warner Brothers lot and have Looney Tunes characters be fucking DC is a proprietary thing that Warner Brothers bought. Why aren't the Looney Tunes running a special for Warner Brothers? They're the Are you high? But so yeah, that was that. It was kind of meh. Disney, there's 2 things with Disney. One, you have Wish, which a lot of people have said is underwhelming as a 100th anniversary thing because Disney played it extremely safe. I haven't watched it yet.
Me neither.
But, you know, I am going to watch it at some point. But the other thing was the Once Upon a Studio short that they released, which I have watched, where all the... they brought a character from every Disney animated film ever to take a group photo at the studio, and they're all animated in their original art styles.
Include Uncle Remus.
No, not Uncle Remus.
No,
it's the animated films.
What's
The
the
Song
name
of the
again?
South only
Song
has
of the
animated
South.
segments. This point being, like, if it was a fully animated film, it had them in it. And that includes stuff like the things that failed, like Black Cauldron and Chicken Little and Dinosaurs. They literally had the character, and I really like it, but I feel it's the thing of, I want to say I really like it as a Disney fan, as someone who enjoys the art form of animation, seeing all these 2D animated characters animated respectfully and as the way they are and everything. But man, you can never fucking say that shit, because everyone's gonna be that meme of the bird talking and then there's the loud fucking crow that talks over it, that comic? That is basically whenever you want to say a positive thing about a Disney property, because then people are going to swoop in and be like, talking about the capitalistic executive part of Disney and the corporation aspect, which are valid things. But man, can't we celebrate the movies that we like? Like, is that really, can't these things coexist? Does everything need to have the twinge of cynicism? Don't we make entertainment to escape from reality?
I mean, isn't the entire thing about Disney that the animated movies are the things that made them great, and that we are disappointed about that they move away by doing all the MCU milking, the ruining of Star Wars, all the stuff? This celebration sounds like they're actually celebrating the good part of it. So,
like, it's just, I had a fun time watching it. Yes, there is like a scene where Mickey is looking at a picture of Walt, and he's like, thanks for everything, on with the show, which is very cute as a, you're talking to your creator kind of thing. It's a weird thing when you know a lot of the deification of Walt Disney and the stuff behind it. However, I feel like a way to have media literacy is being able to separate that from the product that we are having and the point of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm just happy to see really good 2D animation from Disney again. It's like, I'm sorry, do you want to bite the hand? Because it's like, you guys complain, oh, there's no 2D animation. We get 2D animation when it's nostalgia bait. What the fuck do you want? Do you just want them to not make movies? I don't know. I don't know. Either way, I think that is a much better celebration, is just having all the things together. I'm also someone who grew up with House of Mouse. I like when characters cross over with each other. It scratches my brain, and I think it's funny. So there you go.
Yeah, now for me to answer the same question exclusively based on your totally unbiased opinion that you just, or reiteration of the two celebrations. No, I mean, like, it sounds to me like, bringing, doing an actual trip down memory lane kind of thing with showing all the great reminders of their greatest accomplishments sounds like a far more appropriate celebration than just having one of their current cash cows do a studio tour and show off maybe a handful of other IPs they own.
A product pitch, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
so, yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird. Also, I don't know if Enigma and Odie are talking facetiously or not. I can't tell anymore. Guys, have you ever tried lightening up? Like, it's a cartoon. But okay, so here's a would you rather from Paradox of Principle. Would you rather holiday edition? Would you rather cry only decent? Would you rather? What the fuck? This is what happens
probably.
when I cold read. Would you rather try only decently tasty and drinkable eggnog from one Christmas to another throughout 1 year, or anything you eat from one Christmas to another only tastes like gin? What the fuck does this mean? This has the would you rather have bacon and no video games, or video games and unlimited bacon? Like, this is. Why do you oven the cold food and out the hot food? Like, huh? I'm not stupid, right? That's written weird. Huh?
I meant to say cry instead of try.
So, wait, would you rather cry eggnog every Christmas,
Oh.
or everything you eat on Christmas tastes like gingerbread. Is that the question?
From one Christmas to another?
So are you saying that from Christmas 2023 to Christmas 2024 everything tastes like gingerbread, or from Christmas 2023 to Christmas 2024 every time you cry it's eggnog? Okay,
I mean, if this
they
is a
said
question.
I'm assuming yes being this only happens on Christmas.
Okay, then then the answer is very easy for me personally.
I mean, I'm hoping you're not crying on Christmas. That's my big thing.
Tears of happiness and manliness. The manliness leaking out of my eyes.
Is it alcoholic eggnog or is it normal eggnog? Like,
This sounds like cider. There is a non-alcoholic one and it's a default. I mean, no, I'm not surprised that there's a non-alcoholic one, but the non-alcoholic one is a default. Is the part where I'm like,
I mean,
huh.
non-alcoholic is more accessible, so I would say that one should be the default of, like, you know, if more people can drink non-alcoholic things than alcoholic things.
So when you hear beer, do you think alcohol or not alcohol?
Alcohol.
Exactly. When you
But
hear
I'm also,
wine, do you?
but here's
And when I hear
dumbass.
cider, I think alcohol.
When I hear cider, I think non-alcoholic.
Exactly, but that's an American thing. The rest of the world understands that cider is an alcoholic drink.
Okay, but the thing is that I'm just saying is eggnog is a holiday drink. I think of that as a holiday drink first and an alcoholic drink second. Point being is what is the first association? But point being, that is not the argument we're having here. The argument is crying eggnog or everything tasting like gingerbread because you have Midas tongue.
But yeah, I know my answer. It's a very straightforward.
What is your answer?
I mean, I am originally from a city which was famous for their gingerbread, so I have a positive relationship to it. So both, let's be honest, both suck. So this is like pick your curse. Now, I'm not saying, hey, I would like to have everything taste like gingerbread, but
if it's only one day a year.
Exactly. Then having everything taste like gingerbread rather than my cries being a thick liquid that is smearing and whatnot. I mean, I don't. Here's the thing: due to my allergies, I do tear up at times and have a
and I
crying
feel like you're
sensation.
just making self-fulfilling with that. If you're tearing up and it's like, ow, my fucking eyes, because something that is the consistency of heavy cream is coming out of it.
So yeah, for that reason, I go with the gingerbread.
Oh god, you know how they draw tears in like Steven Universe and stuff, where they're like these big gloopy like tears? I'm imagining that, but with eggnog, and it's just like
exactly.
That is some eye torture.
So what's your answer? How big is your hate for gingerbread?
I like gingerbread. Like, that's the thing. Gingerbread is delightful. I prefer cookies that are more like savory than sweet, and gingerbread is a sweet cookie. Don't get me wrong, but when you compare it to like. Yeah, when you compare it to like a fucking chocolate chip cookie, you know, one is objectively more sweet than the other. So I'd rather that. I mean, like, I guess it would be really I guess the one downside whenever you have these types of things is the texture of the food does not change. You could be eating turkey or eating chicken or something, and it has the texture of chicken but the taste of gingerbread, and I don't know if your brain would go doki doki at that or not. Like, I feel there is that thing of like, man, sometimes when a flavor does not align with the texture, you get a little bit icked. I'm just saying there's a reason why like a paste that tastes like chicken will not taste as good as just eating a chicken. But there you go. Do we have more on Twitter?
Nope. Now it's all the Discord.
Okay, let's see. Professional Fun Ruiner. Great name, Odie. What's your biggest disappointment of the year? Something you really wished it was great, but it just wasn't. And so I'm going to sequester this to a media. because we don't need to get sad.
Hmm.
So what was something that you were like hoping to be good, but it just wasn't? I feel like I've been more pleasantly surprised this year than I have been disappointed. I'm trying to think. Like, I guess Laserhawk.
Oh, fuck yeah. Ugh.
Laserhawk is so confusing because it has like universal acclaim. And me and Max watched it and we were like, it's okay.
I mean, the animation is there. They go creative ways and stuff.
The Rayman stuff is good.
I mean, again, there's stuff there, but it's like, yeah, we talked about that Laserhawk himself as a protagonist is like very underwhelming. But then again, yeah, especially towards the end of the season, Rayman has more going on character arc wise and proactiveness and he's just a better protagonist without being the protagonist.
The show got on your shit list really fast with what they did in the second episode. But
yeah,
you know, it was just one of those things. I mean, they did have my favorite character got to stay till the end with Frog.
Frog. I mean, Frog was objectively the best character.
The show should have just been about Frog.
Yeah, I would
Captain
never.
Frog.
Yeah, I never would have expected an Assassin's Creed Frog to be an absolute show stealer. But he's just Assassin's Creed.
I don't know. I want another
Frog.
season of Laserhawk because I felt like I watched 7 episodes of setup with no payoff.
Oh, I guess I have my disappointment.
Okay, what's your disappointment?
My media disappointment of the year. So, just today, we caught up with something that we have been watching. So we are now caught up, and with that we will probably also never continue. Demon Slayer. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I told you so. I fucking told you so.
You did. I mean, I talked about it on this show before, but yeah. So we are now officially caught up with the Throatmaker Village arc, and it was mere like we started the arc and we were like, okay, this is the last arc we give it. We weren't even aware that this is the last arc that exists as anime. We were just like, okay, let's give it this one more arc. Especially we heard some rumors about character development at the end of it, and we are like, okay, this one arc. Positive about this arc, it's not as ongoing, stretched long as the Fun District arc, the Entertainment District arc. This one just never stopped. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, this arc, we watched it. The alleged character, the alleged progress at the end of it is like, no. All my complaints are still there. It's still shit. Like, the only thing that this show had is the visuals during fighting, during the fight sequences, which is such a miracle because I have seen a video comparing it to the manga, and in the manga it's an absolute convoluted, uncomprehensible mess. So the manga didn't even have the fight scenes. I do not understand how this franchise, which has shitty writing, horrible characters, and in the manga ugly animation, got ugly fight sequences, got adapted, became this milestone. Like, yes, the fight scenes are pretty, but oh boy, there is not a single likable character in this show.
Harley Quinn, that was also a big disappointment, but I think I've gotten used to the disappointment there. God, the even seasons are always bad.
Oh yeah, it's true. The Harley Quinn too.
We talked up and down about how bad the new season of Harley was.
Expect that stupid episode early 2024, which is among other things having a segment about Demon Slayer specifically.
All right. I have a question for us.
Oh boy.
I feel like, I don't want to end it the questions on a negative note, but like what was a thing that you saw this year that you were like, man, this is your favorite piece of media you consumed this year? Like just off the top of your head means that probably the thing that has gripped you the most, if you can think about it.
The thing is that this now comes with recency bias.
Mm-hmm.
Because I rewatched recently Into the Spider-Verse.
I mean, that was going to probably be my answer.
Technically came out this year.
It's so good, though.
I know, and here's the thing. I love rewatching media. It's a thing that that especially the past I did regularly. Nowadays I do less because I watch more YouTube than shows. But yeah, I was a total rewatch guy of stuff. But it's like, yeah, I watched it the first time, then it's like background noise for the rewatches. Spider-Verse, I watched and I was sitting there again. I was like,
It's literal
so
art.
Good that it kept up going like this. Oh yeah, Puss in Boots 2 is also fantastic. Like
I mean, like I Spider-Verse. I know this is the most pretentious thing to say, but it's like I think calling it just a film or just a movie negates just how good it is. It literally is like a moving painting.
Yeah, that is pretty
like,
pretentious to say.
I know it is, but it's true. It's there's a reason that it's on the short list for best visual effects at the Oscars, because it's just so good. You know how rare that happens with animated movies? It's only happened like 3 times. And one of them I don't count as an animated movie, because the 2019 Lion King got nominated, and I hate that movie. But Nightmare Before Christmas and Kubo were the other 2. But, God, Across the Spider-Verse is probably, like, it has to be number 1. I don't think anything has gripped me with that hard of a vice grip this year than that. Maybe Guardians Volume 3.
Oh, this one was also good. This year was good. This year was good stuff.
This year was very, very good.
Yeah.
Barbie was fantastic.
Last Spider.
Oppenheimer was great.
Yes,
like,
haven't seen it.
It's actually really good. I think it's even good for people who don't like historical things like that. Priscilla was really good. I recommend that one. Like, it was a very good year for, like, movies and shows. Like, overall, with the exception of seasons of shows and Laserhawk, I genuinely enjoyed a lot of new stuff that I watched this year. So, like, and I mean, I'm not one to talk about video games. I don't play a lot of new video games. However, I will say Super Mario Wonder, probably one of the best Mario games we've gotten in years. It's really fucking good. But yeah, I just wanted to end that on a positive note. Yeah. But I do have one question from Odie left, which I think is a perfect encapsulation of the AWKWARDCast as well. I'm putting the image in the chat. Which one of these cats is you, and which one of them is me?
Which
would our answers differ? So,
that's a curious one.
So, what do you think? From your perception of us, who's who?
Okay, I believe I know my answer.
I think I know my answer.
Okay. Here is how we can find it out. On my count of 3, we either say for ourselves where we see. Then we would have to. If we answer for ourselves where we see ourselves. Then it should be a differing answer for both of us, because then we are seeing ourselves in the same spot.
Yes, because if you say where you think you are and I say where I think I am, then it would be differing. So I guess top and bottom would be the distinction.
Sounds about right. Okay, 3, 2, 1,
top. We view ourselves very differently, don't we?
That's awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random crap. It's time for AWKWARDCast.
It's the awkward.
Random guests and funny gags on the AWKWARDCast.
It's the awkward.
Artwork and analysis, which you do not want to miss on AWKWARD.